Hello, welcome back. We're here with Peter Schawacker from Nearshore Cyber and the next focused cyber session, Lessons from 2000 Cyber Interviews by an Ex-CISO.
Thank you. Thanks again for putting this on. This has been really fun. I've been trying to follow most of the sessions. You got Stan Stahl. So I got my start in the Los Angeles area in the late, or like in the 90s in Delaware, blah, blah, blah. But I kind of grew up in ISSA meetings in Los Angeles, and he was, I don't know if he was like president or something like that, but he was always around, and he was one of the people I looked up to, and I thought, I want to be like that guy someday. One of the things that I benefited from over the years was I got to work with my heroes. And if you hang around long enough, and if you are sort of like one who can join tribes of people in this business, you will get to meet your heroes. And you'll find that they're regular people. Let me give you the quick rundown on me. Thanks for pronouncing my name right, Francesca. Nobody does that right, and you got it. I appreciate it. So Peter Schawacker, I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Nearshore Cyber. I am based in Oaxaca, Mexico. So if you like food, you should come and visit. And Laura, my wife, partner, and I will ply you with mezcal and mole. So I got started 28 years ago in cyber. Before that, I worked for Earthlink. So this is not my first rodeo. This is not my first revolution. I was part of that one. Before that, a lot of people often want to know, like, how do I get into cyber? How do I get started? How do you get started? And my answer was, I worked for my dad. My dad had a band, a wedding band. It was the most working wedding band in the Philadelphia area. And I was his road crew when I was 11. And what I learned from him was how to work. I am completely ordinary, but I know how to work, and I know how to persist, and I know how to reach out to people and help. And I found that there is a natural tendency that we have as human beings to engage in and benefit from reciprocity. So let me speed up a little bit. Over the years, I did a lot of things. I was not always good as a cybersecurity professional, but I kept at it. And eventually I landed a job as a consultant at Optiv, where I wound up being promoted because I got stuff done. And I built a SIM practice there. I took it from 8 to 49 people in 2.5 years. We were everybody's top SIM partner at the same time, which gave me insights into various parts of the business, including going through a couple of acquisitions by private equity, working with some of the biggest brands in the world. And I hired some amazing people. That's what really got me to where I am today. I was able to engage a couple of recruiters. One of whom I gave her a start to. She's still a recruiter today, and she did cut her first invoice to me. I actually had to teach her how to do it. I said, you never make the invoice number one. Just come up with a number above one. That's it. The other one was a veteran of the industry who's largely retired. Again, a guy named Tom Shaw out of Denver. And I learned from Tom some techniques and a strategy that served me well ever since, which is care as much about the customer's business as your own, and learn it, and study it, right? And Tom would know what I needed before I called him. So I might call him and say, hey, I need a couple of Splunk people. He'd say, I know. Like, how do you know? He's like, because I keep in touch with your people. I keep in touch with those I place there. I know your colleagues. I may know more about your pipeline than you do, because he knew the sales reps. And so what I learned from him was something I already had an instinct for, was that whatever I do is closely connected to the work of other people. And not just, it wasn't, most of what you do in cyber is not cyber. Most of what you do in cybersecurity is meetings, planning, writing, thinking, research, coaching, being coached. 90% of your day is not cyber. In fact, the farther you progress in your career, the less you find is cyber. Now, this led to that. I wound up moving from Denver, Colorado to Mexico, did a U-turn around New York, and wound up back in Oaxaca. During that period, I did a stint as a CISO. So I wound up in a CISO slot because of my network, because of people I'd worked with who trusted me, who liked working with me, and I liked working with. So I got this job as a CISO. One of the things I found out is that as a CISO, I spent almost none of my time doing security.